Back to our channel. I'm Steve Handy, and today, yes, I'm in the sunny Algarve again on a boat I've listed for sale called Benny G. This is a 2023 Axopar 37 cross cabin, and this boat has only 40 engine hour, guys. I want to talk to you about why you should buy this particular boat. So we've headed out along the Algarvian sunshine this afternoon just to show you what this boat's like, and this lighting is fabulous, so I really hope you like this video. So let's start at the transom at the back end. As you can see, she's got the black Mercuries, and these are the V8 300s, so these are 4.6 litre naturally aspirated V8s, and as I say in all of my videos, these are class leading engines. This particular owner has gone for the Brabus line trim, so all of the metal parts are in this powder coated black colour, and as again I say often, having this at the back, as you can see, we're rolling around as we're stationary, and having this to hang on to is so important. This particular owner chose the sunrise colour upholstery, which is really cool on this grey hulled Axopar. So Brabus line trim, grey hull, sunrise upholstery, fender box cushions, fresh water. He's got the shower in this locker in here. So this boat's fitted with the radar system, so she's got a radar mounted up on this black powder coated light mast. This boat has got a VHF, so she's got the twin VHF aerials mounted on the coach roof here, and she's fitted with the audio system, the Fusion audio system, so I can see speakers at the back end. But really nice to see. This is an aft cabin version, so you've got this lovely big sun pad here at the back end, and as I've just mentioned, she has the fender cushions here, so from a socialising perspective this is great. But we'll cut into some footage here that this aft cabin has got side windows for light, and they've got lovely Venetian blinds in there, so that space feels really lovely. But these two windows open, giving you loads of ventilation in this space at the back end, so I really like that. But let's head forward and let's show you what's on the foredeck. So rare to see, she doesn't have the gull wing doors. There are gull wing door moulds here, or what appear to be on the outside, but actually you'll see when I film inside the cabin, it is a continuous piece of fiberglass, so it's actually very nicely done inside. But this owner didn't want gull wing doors, and I can understand that for some owners who've got kids. If they're in this forward space and you want them not to be able to get out, then obviously deleting or not specifying the gull wing door option rather is something that this particular owner did. And actually what you end up with is one huge cushion here. You do get all the glazing in the top just like you would do with gull wing doors, so if you take this cushion off, you've got lots of natural light down into that forward cabin space. But this sunpad cushion's really nice. And on an Axopar, as I talk about in all my videos, the bulwarks are really high. You can see here I'm not having to crouch down to hold on, so I feel really safe, and we've got a rolly sea. I'm not wearing a life jacket, we are stationary, but as I say, I do feel very safe here. And there's always, on an Axopar, this gully here in this hardtop structure, so you can hang on nicely here for safety. This particular boat is fitted as standard here with the forward-facing seat. The owner didn't want the extended sunpad, or indeed the table. They don't dine out here. They feel that that's better done inside in the case of their usage. So you've got a really nice big area here. So if you're into fishing, that would be really nice. He did put the cushion on the anchor locker, and as you can see here, you've got more speakers here with the Fusion system. So this boat has the shore power and anchor winch. So we've got here a 12 kilogram stainless steel ultra anchor. I love that on an Axopar, that they're always stainless steel anchors. They look really nice on the stem of the boat there. So it's an anchor with 30 meters of chain, galvanized chain. We've got a bow thruster on this boat. So in fact, if I just show you in here, we've put all the fenders in here, but your shore power connector is in here, and you've also got your winch control on a remote here, which is really nice. So it means I can stand, I can look at the anchor, I can point for the captain. So if I need the bow moving, or we need to go in reverse or maybe ahead, I can give him clear instructions with my hand movements whilst I've got a remote in my hand here. So I like that. That's really nicely done from Axopar. Fresh water fill is in here. And as I said to you, well, this has got the upgraded, the upgraded system, so it's got an anchor and an electric winch here, which is all very nicely done by Axopar. And I love the fact that they've got these double line lockers on all of these lockers, so it does really feel very nicely finished. So let's head into the boat. I'm going to film inside the pilot house, and I want to show you what this boat's like underway. Okay, so we're back in the marina to film the inside of the boat, and let's just talk through this space. So lots of handholds. That's obviously really safe on an Axopar. This boat had the upgraded refrigerator, so you've got a nice Dometic fridge in there. And as you can see, lovely table finished in this Wenge wood. That's really nicely done. This space is great. Feature on all Axopars is the way these seats swivel, so I love that, the fact that you can turn these seats all the way around, and that then gives you a very sociable layout, so you can all sit around this central table in this pilot house. But something very few people talk about is actually these seats do stop when you're swiveling them outboard, so you can have these seats facing out. This one's closer to the bulwark, but this one's still very good. So if for some reason you've got stuff going on the side of the boat and you want to be able to sit and see out, maybe do a bit of fishing, the fact that this seat does face outboard, I think, is a really, really nice feature. This boat had the upgraded battery switches here, the main breakers just here, so they're nice and easy to hand. As I've mentioned already, the boat is fitted with Brabus line trim, so you get this Alcantara steering wheel and a nice Brabus emblem in this Alcantara handrail down into the forward cabin. That's really nice. Then the main helm. So guys, I've talked about this before, this non-slip finish here on an Axopar gives this a really nice look, and this particular owner went for what Axopar call the information display, which is essentially a glass bridge. So you've got one single piece of glass, and behind that two 12-inch Simrad chart plotters, but that gives a really nice ergonomic look, and actually practically keeping all that area clean is really nice. Love the chrome switchgear here for lighting, windscreen wipers, windscreen washers, horn and bilge pumps. I think that's all very nicely done on Axopar, a nice little touch with the Axopar logo. This boat had the Sleipner bow thruster and the trim tabs, and we've got the electric Webasto roof. I've not got this all the way open because I'm now trying to film in here, but obviously this opens all the way and this fills this space with lots of natural light. And as I've mentioned before on my videos, this cross cabin is so versatile because with these doors fully open and this roof fully open, you've got so much ventilation through this boat that actually, whilst a lot of buyers talk about in sunnier climes wanting a sun top because you're not enclosed, so you're more connected to the water, I disagree with that. And I think actually this gives you such versatility. You can use this boat all year round, close the roof, close the doors, and you've got nice protection from all the cold weather or wet weather. But in the sunnier climes, I still think this works really, really well with all the doors open and the sunroof open if you want it. So let's just talk through on here. I've got the engines running, but let's just talk through some of the screens. So I've got the port screen, the left screen here on the Mercury page. One of the features I love on these V8 Verados is that you've got what they call an active exhaust, sports exhaust. So if I turn that on, you've got a very different sounding engine. Some people love that, some people don't, but that facility's there, which we love. On the starboard screen, on the right screen, I've got this set to the Axopar page, so I love the fact that Axopar have bothered to actually customise this Simrad equipment. And remember that Simrad is owned by the same company ultimately that is owned by Brunswick, so it's all under one umbrella. So these Simrad screens are all part of the same company, which means everything integrates so seamlessly with this Mercury system, and I love the ergonomics of the Mercury throttle levers and all the functionality here. But flicking back to this screen, so this Axopar screen is really nice. So I've got it on boat status at the moment, so it's telling me hours after we've done our hours with this photo shoot. We've got a couple more hours on the engine, so we're up to 42 now. Yeah, only 42 hours. It's telling me that my batteries are charging nicely, and it's telling me how much fuel. We've got 88% fuel. I love this for somebody who's a novice or perhaps a little bit forgetful, just wants a bit of a reminder. You've got the ability to just check off the important things before you leave the dock. So is the weather appropriate for your trip? Have you got life jackets? Are all your lights working? Are your fire extinguishers serviced and operational on board? Have you checked your bilges? Make sure your bilge pumps are working, just give them a quick test. Are your batteries all charged? Are you full of fuel, or have you got enough fuel for the passage that you're going to undertake? Yes or no? Have you got tools and spares on board? Are there any engine error messages that you need to investigate? And if you want to, you can just check all. But that for me is a really useful safety touch from Axopar for all boat owners. I love that. Trip summary, this is quite nice. So this tells us how long we've been out on the water, how long we've been running the engines, the top speed we achieved, the average speed, and our fuel consumption. I think that's a nice touch from Axopar. And then you've got trip analytics, so this compares your trip today with previous trips. And I love the fact that they just give you a little Fusion functionality down here just for ease of use, so that's really nice. If you want full Fusion functionality, then you can click into your audio button here. This gives us Fusion connectivity, and if you want to maximize that screen, you press these arrows and that gives you all your full Fusion connectivity, so you can start your Bluetooth here and pair your phone, which is really nice. Vessel control, as I said, is just this screen down here on the left hand side, so it gives us the ability to control things that are on the throttle levers, but you can do it on the screen if you want to. Now if you go to your main screen, this then gives us the ability, and likewise on both, to select in here my radar. So if I want radar display, I can get that on here. It's not yet running because I haven't turned it on. I've got, this is where my Axopar screen is. My engine data that's on this screen I could pull up here by pressing this. But I don't need that on both screens. I've got echo sounder. If there were videos fitted to it, I could put those on, and then of course if I want my charts, I can get those up on the screen. Now if I want to get rid of my vessel control here on the left hand side, I just close the arrow, maximize the information. What I love about these Simrad controls, there's so much functionality, and if you wanted, as if 2 screens isn't enough, if you wanted to put these into quadrants or half the screen, if you wanted perhaps Mercury information on one half of this screen and chart plotter the other half, you could do that. So lots and lots of versatility from Simrad with this equipment, and with this glass bridge, or as I said, information display from Axopar, that gives you everything you need. Just talk quickly about your throttle levers. So you've obviously got your engine control, your hydraulic lifting it in and out of the water, up and down. Active trim control is on here, so that's fitted on this particular boat, which is really great. So active trim essentially moves the engines, tries to keep the boat stable underway, and as you accelerate, rather than lifting the bow and trying to get over the hump as you do on all motor yachts, these engines with this active trim will trim the engines to try and smooth out those humps, just to make it really easy. The idea being that for any user, it's point and squirt, literally accelerate and not be thinking about trim, which I love for somebody who wants ease of boating. I've got throttle only here, so if I wanted to just rev up the engines in the marina, I could do that. And one of the really nice features on this is single lever control. So rather than having to operate both levers when I'm underway, press single lever and just one lever will work. VHF, I did mention when we were outside, so you've got your VHF control here, and this map pocket is very nice here from Axopar. This inverted window, just to talk about that, I appreciate this is part of the design of this particular boat, but having that window inverted makes it much bigger in here. I feel like I've got much more space in this pilot house, and actually it's much more efficient from the perspective that water and rain runs off that much quicker than if it was angled like a car windscreen. So that's very deliberately designed by Axopar. So I'm down in the forward cabin area, just to point out a few of the features. So this boat has the Fusion remote specified as an extra in this forward part of the boat. We've got a 12-volt socket here, light switches, and as you can see, this boat has got the toilet compartment. So it has this plastic screen across here, and ingeniously, when the door is closed to the toilet, you have free flow through into this forward cabin. But if I close the door, I've created privacy now from the forward cabin, and I've opened onto the toilet. So I do like that design feature from Axopar. This has the, as I've already mentioned, this has the fresh water tank, so it has running water. You've got a sink and a tap here, and an electric flush toilet, which is nice. So it's always taking fresh water from the tank and then emptying the toilet into a black water tank, so you don't get smells in this area. So that's really nice. If I go forward and just show you into the forward cabin area. So as I've already mentioned, this boat doesn't have the gull wing doors, and I do really like in here that there is this one piece fiberglass moulding So you've got a nice smooth finish in here, which is lovely. We've taken the cushion off the top so that you can see the glazing, and it's given us lots of natural light here in this area. So I do love to see that these 3 windows, which is beautiful. You've got a window forward. There is a cushion on the outside at the moment, but of course if you took that off, then that would give you some nice ventilation in this space. But this is a lovely cabin. It's okay, it's not full standing headroom, but I don't feel claustrophobic in here. I feel there's more than enough space. You could sit in the morning or in the evening and chill here. And there's a good sized bed here with another Fusion remote controller. So that takes me to the aft cabin. Let's go. So aft cabin, 2 windows here on the side. These Venetian blinds just give a touch of class to this space. I've opened both windows in the skylight windows, shall we call them. I've still got the plastic on because this boat really is like new. Everywhere I've walked on here, it even smells new. But having these 2 big windows open here is really nice for ventilation. It helps with that sense of space in here. But we've got lots of charging points. So I've got, in fact, I didn't mention it in the forward cabin, but there is a shore power 220 volt socket in the forward cabin, and there's one in here on this port side. And I've got no less than 3 individual USB and 12 volt charging sockets. There's some nice little pockets forward, and then a nice space here. If you were a family on board this boat, it's giving you 2 areas to sleep, and this really is not a tiny space. This is more than enough for an overnighter on board this boat. Under here we've got all the batteries, so engine and domestics, and this is a lovely space. So let's wrap up here. So why should you buy this boat that we've got listed for sale? So this is a really versatile design. Hopefully I've been able to talk that through on camera. This is an award-winning boat from Axopar, but this particular boat has been nicely specified, quite unique, not having the gull wing doors, which I like on this boat. This is a really, really very special boat, and in as new condition. She smells new. So low hours, 42 hours now, 1 owner, all of the title paperwork on file. As always with any boat we sell through our business. So hopefully you've enjoyed the video. If you have, as always, please give us a like, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Thanks a lot, guys.